你知道吗？10年前在我读书的时候，我从来没有听过 burnout 这个词，但是现在却是越来越频繁。尤其是近几年新加入药剂师这个行业的年轻人，在新西兰几乎80%的人都有这样的感受。所以今天我来这里见一位朋友，他做了35年的药剂师，他来分享一下他是如何一直在这个行业里面。So, this is my friend Mark. He has been in pharmacy for 30 years.
35,
Oh, even longer.
even longer.
Older than me. I'm only 29 this year. So, he will share some secrets how to stay in the same profession for 35 years.
I think the secret is to understand that your job will change. And I think if you believe that you go to work tomorrow expecting to do the same thing as you do today, then you're going to be disappointed. So you need to understand that as your position changes, you maybe want to change as well. And your needs change as well. So, maybe you started as a single person, now you're married, maybe you have children, maybe you need to have a mortgage or all these other things. So, there's an old expression, you dig the well before you need it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Heard it before.
I think when you're looking at your profession, the way I've managed to stay in my profession is to understand that it's not going to be the same. So that'd be the first thing. Second thing I would say is that if you're like everyone else, then you don't have a reason for people to come to you.
Oh, yes.
So you don't. It's called USP, unique selling point. So what is my unique selling point? It's he knows a lot of information about a wide range of topics around his industry. So he's not just a pharmacist in my case, but he knows a lot about nutrition, he knows a lot about drug-nutrient interaction, he knows about environmental and behavioural issues. Now, while that might be specific to my industry, and I know what you were hoping is to have something that you could give to any industry, and I think it's the same. So understanding why would someone want to come to see you, and it's not just that you're good at your job, because one day someone's going to be better or you won't be as good because you'll get older, more tired, grumpy, plus the industry will change, and if you haven't been preparing for change, then that won't be it. The third thing is, I would say, is find your joy. You have to understand that work is not necessarily always joyful.
Oh, yes.
But
Certainly.
you can find your joy. Find opportunities to find joy. Because that's what will keep you going. Fourthly, I would say that understand that you can't get it right every day. And you can't even get it right, that you're going to have some days where it just all goes wrong. And also that you can't make everybody happy all the time.
Yes,
You're going to have team members or customers or other individuals in your space that your decisions that you made at the time, you have to make some people happy, but you can't make everyone happy. And you have to be okay with that, or not. But if you want to avoid burnout, I think those are some really important goals that you could apply in any industry. The last one is, I would say, is that you will never stop learning. And if you we all grumble about continuing education and
Yes, in pharmacy.
requirements for studying and having to stay up to date, but actually get over it. It is what it is. If you want to be in an industry, or if you want to be in an allied industry, then feel free. And perhaps if I would add on number 6, which is understand that you don't have to stay doing the same thing every day, every year. You can utilize your qualification and jump into something else. That doesn't mean that you've given up on your original thing. So like you say, well, I'm a pharmacist for 35 years. Yes, but I'm now doing more and more things outside standard pharmacy practice, and I have been doing that for probably 20 years, and it's just been progressive increase in these other areas. So understand that you don't have to stay stuck, that you can, and in fact, if you are going to feel stuck, then don't stay in the job because you feel you need to have longevity in that position. But what you need to perhaps instead realize is that when you get in the job, how are you going to achieve these things? How are you going to find joy? How are you going to stay relevant? How are you going to be having a unique selling point with your customer? How are you going to wake up every day and recognize that what you're doing is making a difference? And if it all goes to custard and you do need to do something else, have forgiveness to yourself. You know, just because you've made that investment, that was that time, that moment in time, and so now you're moving into something else. But I've been able to find enough joy and also recognize that I'm doing things that other people aren't doing, and that's okay, and they can stay stuck in what they're doing, and that's all good. But meanwhile, I'm moving on.
Now, you mentioned something about going to work and feel different, not the same, but the job role is the same. Like every day you see patient, you get patient angry at you, or you get difficulty because patient want this but you don't have that. How do you deal with? How do you make something different from these ordinary roles?
So do you want me to answer about how I deal with somebody when they get angry, or do you...
Because you say you make work different,
Okay.
but how do you be different?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I can give my pharmacy examples. So if I have a prescription for an indigestion remedy like omeprazole,
Yeah.
and so I'd say to the customer, so with this omeprazole, how long have you been on that? Or when did you first start taking that medicine? And they might say, oh, why do you ask? Or they might tell me when they did. I say, okay, when was the last time doctor looked at whether that dose was still appropriate for you?
The person don't know.
So you might look at that like an insurance policy. You might say, well, when was the last time you had an insurance review? Or you might look at it from finance. When was the last time someone reviewed your financial portfolio? Or reviewed your health or your health insurance? You know, so this review thing is not uncommon. But do you know how many pharmacists would probably ask that question?
Really little.
Yeah, I think
Not
they just say,
enough
there's your prescription. Well, so there's the interesting thing.
That's a problem.
You make the time. If you've got 60 seconds, I think everyone has 60 seconds for a customer. And so I might say, well, look, that'd be interesting because I don't know if you're aware, but the indigestion remedies, they actually reduce your absorption of some really important nutrients. Iron, zinc, magnesium, calcium, B3, B6, B12,
Correct.
vitamin C, copper, molybdenum. And so, staying on the same dose for months and months and months and years, you're increasing your risk of osteoporosis, you're increasing your risk of anemia.
Yes.
And so, and people are like, oh. So I said, but don't stop the medication. Please have a chat with your doctor because maybe you could look at reducing this dose. Go from a 40 milligram to a 20 or a 20 milligram to a 10 or something like that. So that's one way I can make a difference and be different to everyone else, but it doesn't take a great amount of time. Second thing is just to ask, how are you feeling today? Now, it's not how are you, because everyone says,
Good.
fine, thank you. And so it's how are you feeling, but it's
They
also
will answer you.
how are you feeling today?
Yes. They will
Because
answer.
if you ask someone who has cancer and you say, how are you? And they go, I have cancer. How do you think I feel? But now you're saying, how are you feeling today in this moment? Maybe they had chronic pain, but today is a good day. Today is not such a good day. So just ask something small. How are you feeling today? Have an interaction with your client that is meaningful and is heartfelt. And also when they give you the answer, be prepared for the answer, because very few people you ask, how are you? They actually don't care how you are. They're just saying, how are you? Because it's something to fill in the space.
Yes.
So I think noticing small changes, noticing opportunities where you can feed into your client's emotional need. You don't have to get too deep into that, but just asking, because you can check in and you'd be amazed what a difference that has. The third thing I would say is start to learn your customers' names.
Oh, yes, that's an important.
I had a problem. I used to remember that was Mrs. Bendrafluoride, Plendor 5 milligram and metoprolol 47.5 milligram.
I remember by the drug.
By the drugs. And I thought, this is
Common
silly.
pharmacist.
So I thought, well, I need to start learning people's names. You would be amazed because, again, you've got all the, stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap discounting, whether it's pharmacy or retail or whatever it is. You're just a number. You go into a bank, you're just a number. But if you could actually start to make efforts on remembering your customer's name, your client's name, you will make massive gains that puts you right ahead of everybody else. Those would be my 3 things.
But here's another question. So you mentioned to go extra miles, to take extra care. How do you find time for every customers every day in your ordinary busy pharmacy? And did you get burned out from taking too much information or emotion from them?
60 seconds. If
Fast and sweet.
you have to have 60
Fast
seconds.
and sweet.
If you don't have 60 seconds for every customer, you're not doing it right.
It's hard.
It may be hard to begin with, like any change, but once you get used to it, it's actually easy. Now, you're going to get the occasional customer, they don't even want 60 seconds.
Oh, yes.
Right? And that's okay. So you don't have to push something on someone that they don't want.
Yeah,
but,
definitely don't do that.
yeah, and you'll find some people need more time. So
Yes.
there'll be a bit of a balance. But, the opportunity to have 60 seconds with someone, because this all came from some study I did years and years ago, actually when I was a similar age to you, where I went into a international conference. It's run by the Australian Pharmaceutical Society, and they were talking about 60 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And actually doing a review of the medicines in 60 seconds. But it can be a review of anything. So you make the time and you structure things accordingly. You'll also find that people actually will wait if you notice them. So if you say, hello sir, hello madam, be right with you, I'm just finishing this, or I'm just finishing this customer, or if I'm on the phone, excuse me just a moment, sorry, someone will be right with you, won't be long. Okay, so now I've interrupted this, but it's only a short time, and now they've been seen. Most clients, they come in, they just want to be seen. Secondly, they want to be heard. Now, you talked about customers being angry. So I can help you with that. So I've done martial arts now for over 40 years. And the first thing that someone is angry and they're shouting at you, and I know this sounds really strange, but the first thing to do is to say, you sound really upset.
Oh, I never say that actually.
And they go, damn right I'm upset. I am. Yeah, I hear that. I really hear that. Tell me what has really upset you. Now you might find that it's actually not what's in front of you now. You may find that it was actually something else, and they've come in and they're already wound up, and now your little thing that has gone wrong has been the straw that breaks the camel's back, and they go bang.
Explore, yes.
But the other thing too is that it's very hard to stay angry with someone who listens to you. I've been in places where, like a bouncer, a security guard, and they've gone, calm down sir, calm down. Worst thing you can say.
Never say that.
But they do it. It's crazy. So instead to say, you sound really upset. I am upset. Yeah, I can hear that. Tell me what's going on. So now you're no longer the enemy. Now you're an ally. Now you're a friend. And yes, you might think, well, that's going to take a couple of minutes. I can tell you, it's going to take less time than it is for them to have a screaming match at you.
Yes, definitely.
So that's how I deal, and it's scary the first couple of times, but it's called reflective listening. So you reflect back on them about what's going on, and they'll say something, and you can even say, wow, that must have really upset you, or I can see how that really must have upset you. And they now think, this guy or this woman understands me. Oh my gosh, I don't need to yell at them anymore. Now they're on my side. So for what it's worth, that's how I deal with conflict.
Okay, and one last question before this video gets way too long. How do you deal with the emotional downside?
You need to have a way of release. So for me, it's my karate.
Oh, by the way, he has a black belt.
4th dan.
You can be a teacher.
I've been a teacher for a long time. So you have to have an emotional outlet. Now, it might be painting, drawing, walking, Pilates, yoga, meditation, Tai Chi, swimming. You might be an active relaxer, you might be a passive relaxer. It might be that gardening is your thing, but you need to have a release so that you can do that. But again, if you go back to my original points about finding joy and understanding that change happens and all these things, you actually will find the emotional release becomes much easier and you don't get so frustrated. People quit their job because they can't see a way out. Or they're being treated really badly, which is also why they can't see a way out. So, if you're building new opportunities while you're doing an existing position, that can keep you motivated, and that's how I find my release.
Oh, wow. And that keeps you going for 35 years.
Yep, and longer.
Oh, yes. When are you planning to retire?
When I can afford to. And I think, look, if you need to, it's like when you buy a house, you need to think about when you're moving to your next house. When you get into a job, you need to think about when am I going to be in another job.
Oh.
When I buy a business, when am I going to sell that business?
I never thought of that.
Because if you don't plan for those things, they don't happen, or they happen without planning, and that's just as bad.
Start planning today.
Yeah.
Right. One last small question. What is your New Zealand favourite slang?
My New Zealand favourite slang.
Yes, okay, people know about New Zealand. New Zealanders say some funny things the overseas don't understand.
There's obviously this yeah nah.
Classic.
But the other one I would say is describing someone as hard case.
Is that really a New Zealand thing?
Yeah.
Really?
You're hard case means you're lots of fun, you're really funny. If you want someone at a party, you invite them because they're hard case. Overseas, they think that means a difficult person.
Yeah, not the same. It's not the same.
The same. No. So if
Oh,
you're
really?
hard
So
case,
New
that's a compliment. So in New Zealand, someone says
Yes.
you're so hard case, they're being
Means
nice
you
to
have
you.
fun with.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I never know there's a New Zealand thing, but I know everyone says that usually at a party, not at work, usually at a
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, thanks Mark. Hopefully today you take some points from Mark and continue your long journey at work. Whatever you're doing, or you want to switch career, doesn't matter. But life is long, right?
Life should be fun, but it's about finding moments of joy, because most of the
There we
time
go.
it can be shit.
Oh, that word. Nice. Thanks, Mark.